Go. Hopefully my audio levels are good. Let's turn that up. Okay, so first thing to explain is right here we do a mix. We run and shield or block 3 times to get those 2 enemies close enough together. If you suck 2 enemies in together at the same time, it starts a mix. We use the home menu to buffer, since the order that the abilities appear in is always the same. Once it's kind of close to where wing is, then we can judge how long we need to wait until we press Y or A, depending on what you use for controls. I use control scheme B, so if I talk about any of the buttons A, B, Y, or X, it's because I use control scheme B. So if I say Y is attack, that's because Y is attack for me. Might not necessarily be for other people. So yeah, I have B as jump, Y as attack or suck in, X is throw, a heart for an ally, and then A is... I'm not quite sure what A even does. Is A like get rid of your ability? Yeah, if you hold A, it gets rid of your ability. The reason why I wasn't sure about that is because you can just press minus and it'll instantly get rid of your ability rather than holding A. So we use minus. So the allies that I got in here aren't completely insignificant. So the Poppy Bros Jr. Is given to you automatically, so I keep that one. I grab Cutter because in Popstar, in the very last level, you do a friend star, and you need either sword or cutter, so I grab that. And then the ice is just really quick to grab because it's faster to befriend a mid-boss than it is to kill them. So might as well befriend that one since we need 4 allies, or 3 allies, 4 total. I'm gonna let this a little bit play out. Donut Dome and Honey Hill are pretty self-explanatory. Yeah, I'd say that me having digital is probably the only reason I have world record right now. Because what time do you have? 1:35:47, or is it a 37? $1:35:37. Yeah, so I'm only 11 seconds ahead of you, demo. This run wasn't amazing though, so I'll keep going. I think my summit best ended at like a mid 133 at the end of this run. Yeah, I saw you post in Discord that you weren't going to do runs, or probably weren't going to do runs today. So this'll hold as world record for at least a day, I guess. You should be able to easily beat this time though, since you can get the Grand Man 1 cycle now. That's over like 25 seconds or so, I think. Added the new route changes next run. Switching like a large portion of the run to using Wind Midnight is too like intimidating for me right now, especially when my time is 2 minutes off of my summit best. If it turns out that it's easy to save time with the Midnight strats, then I'll definitely start going for it sooner rather than later though. But if it's only like a second or two and it's really tight getting that time save using Fire Midnight, then I'll probably hold off on switching. In the past few runs I've done, I've noticed that my Dreamland is extremely variant. Like most of my splits, I have like close to a 10-second variance in the time that I can get. Whereas my later splits normally aren't quite that variant. I think this split is the hardest to do well in, just because you get screwed over by your allies sharing food. So I actually changed something up a little bit in this run. When I did my dive bomb cancels on Wispy and Iggy and a few of the other places that you can just face the opposite way and not have, or like be next to the end of the screen, that way you don't worry about moving backwards. I actually used like my mashing technique to do dive bomb cancels rather than timing them. I don't know if that actually helped or not. I kind of want to find a different strat for this first room in DDD, because that's definitely the fastest way to, well, kind of the fastest way to get to the door. But it also gets that puzzle piece. And the puzzle piece doesn't waste time on this split, but it does on the next one. Just because of where I split. So right now, I don't do the plasma strats that you can do right here, unless one of my allies dies, which probably isn't the best, but... Because you can also use ice in a later split. I'm not sure of the name of the stage, but you can use plasma to hit switches that are beyond solid walls. Had an idea for using ice in the Midnight fight and turned out to be slower. Yeah, I feel like Midnight, you just use Wing. Even if there are ways to do the fight faster, it's you would spend too much time like switching between things, I feel like. Also, the reason why I give Bomb Wind right there is... Can you use ice like that as well? I'm not sure what you mean. But the reason why I give Bomb Wind right there is because, one, Wind Bomb is stronger as an ally, but you don't get the animation at the very end of the run because you use Wind Bomb in a fight. So the time that it takes for the animation to go through isn't a time loss since you don't get it later. So it makes this fight like however much faster using Wind Bomb is. Can you use ice like that as well? Talking about the plasma strat, you can disable the animations. I have no idea. I've only done the plasma strats like one time ever. You can set animations to never playing. Oh. Oops. Oops. That would actually be helpful, like, in multiple places. Because you give Midnight, Wind, and... I'm sure there are other places. But it doesn't lose much time. It's like a few seconds. Also, it already takes like 50 seconds to reset when you mess up a run. That's the one thing I really don't like about this game, speedrunning this game. It's really annoying resetting. Because you have to go to the home menu and close the application, and then you have to restart and sit through the Dream Friends animation every single time you start a new file. It's really annoying. The worst part is it's only going to get longer with more updates. I hope that they don't keep showing all that stuff. I hope they make it where once you've seen it once, it just remembers. That'd be the dream. My controller got low battery right there in the run. But thankfully, this is an auto-scroller, so I was able to plug it in pretty easily. Also, this game doesn't use motion controls, so it's not annoying having your controller plugged in. From speedrunning Mario Odyssey, I can't play if I have my controller plugged in, because half the run you're just shaking the controller. Plasma uses motion controls. Yeah, I can just like rotate the stick like twice and it works, because you only have to shoot it twice in the whole run, right? If you use Plasma, that is. I'm used to stick rotations anyway from Odyssey as well, doing spin ground pounds, so just do a double stick rotation and then you got it. You can't shake Joy-Cons if you're playing as Plug. Interesting. Yeah, I know very little about most of this game. I've played guest stars one time. Well, I've played halfway through guest stars, and it was as Birdon anyway, so it's not like I got any experience as something else. And then I've done the boss rush on Sizzling Threat as Wind Bomb, or Bomb with Rick Kanku. So both things that you already use in any percent. Have I heard 1.0 final boss has less health? How much less health? That's the question. Like, how much time does it save? Because if the time that it saves, talking about the part where you're on the third friend star, you can kill the boss really quick. You can skip out the electric arrows attack. Oh wow. What's your opinion on legality of that? Because this just sounds exactly like how Odyssey went with 1.0. Ban it. Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, since... Like, this is the same exact situation that Odyssey was in. So Odyssey, people didn't realize that 1.0 saved time until after 1.1 was already out. So the community decided to ban it. And then, eventually, the 1.2 update came out, which removed stuff from 1.1. And at that point, you couldn't really ban 1.1 because there were already 1,000 runs of that game on 1.1. So they just made it where 1.0 was legal. And this game's kind of in a similar situation. 1.0 is faster, but we didn't find out until after everyone was already running on 1.1. Or whatever the version is. Not 1.0. So it's very easy to ban it since there's no runs that it'll affect. There aren't people already using that version. That's the reason Kirby Guest Stars glitch is banned 100%. So we don't get the exact situation? Yeah. So I say we take a similar route. We ban this, the 1.0 version of the game. But if in the future Nintendo decides to patch out ESP skips or something, then we go ahead and make 1.0 legal. Since we can't, like, ban ESP skips if they get patched out, since there's already runs with it. Yeah, I hope they don't patch it out either. It'd be really annoying. I doubt Nintendo even knows that it exists, to be honest. Because the speedruns of this game aren't quite as big as Odyssey, where it was in everyone's face, and even if people weren't speedrunning, there were tons of YouTubers. Kirby Guest Stars glitch has videos on it with thousands of views and they still didn't patch it. Yeah, that's true. ESP fight skips don't have any videos besides our runs. Yeah, I have like one run on YouTube that uses the fight skips. And like, it's at the very end of the run. It's not like it's a video dedicated to the fight skip. Yeah, I don't think Nintendo's gonna spend the time to look through an hour and a half of video and see nothing out of the ordinary just to get to the very end and see that there's a glitch or skip or whatever. Man, I need to memorize the optimal route to use when ascending in this room. Because there's like a 50-50 chance that I just get hit because I just wing it. I just start spamming the jump button and hoping I don't get hit. Just wing it. That was not meant to be a joke at all. That was completely coincidental. I did notice it as soon as I said it, but I didn't want to draw attention to it. I should run Return to Dreamland. It's also just wing everywhere. Sounds like my type of speedrun. Except harder. Still, sounds like my type of speedrun. Just use wing. What system is Return to Dreamland on? Is that a Wii game? Wii? Okay. I do have a Wii, but it's like super busted. Oh, Lucy, this is a recording. This is the world record run. I did my run offline, and now I'm just streaming it. Get done eShop on Wii U. I sold my Wii U. I had literally one game that I played. Yeah, the plastic, like, plating or whatever, like, half of the pieces are torn off. It's super busted. If I did run Return to Dreamland, it would give me an excuse to buy a standard definition capture card. I haven't really had much of a reason to get a standard definition capture card, so I might. I'll look at the run. If it looks too similar to this game, I'll probably just won't run it at all. I mean, I know it's mostly winged, but if there's other things that are enticing about it, I might get it. I don't know. Oh, another question. Is the Wii U eShop version of Return to Dreamland faster because of loads? $15. Okay, so not a big deal. Well, how long's the run? I think it's a similar time to this run, right? If it's similar to this and only 15 seconds, then I won't worry about the time difference. $136. Okay. So it's like basically exactly the same as this game. But I imagine it's more optimized than this game, so this game's shorter. Technically. I might start some guest star speedruns. They seem pretty fun. Yeah, of what I've played of guest stars, it's pretty fun. It's a lot faster pace. It takes out all of the loading, basically, or all the cutscenes, essentially. Some guy got 138 in 2012 and it took 5 years for someone to beat it. Really optimized. Yeah, that sounds pretty optimized to me. I'll definitely watch a run of it. This and Robobot are least optimized. I mean, they're the newest ones, right? Like, Robobot is the newest handheld, and this is the newest platform. Or main console. So it makes sense. In Dreamland 100%, where you use every ability in the game. Some stages you use 5 different abilities. That sounds wild. Way too wild for me. Man, I'm still focusing on any percent of this game. I'm gonna get this run a little more optimized. Guess who has world record? Don't you have world record for... Do you have world record for both Kirby Return to Dreamland? Both any percent and 100%? Or just 100%? I saw the sheet that has all of the world record holders of each Kirby game. 100% and any percent. You have world record for 100%. Seems like an interesting run. 100% for this game, kind of lame. Yeah, just because of what you have to do to get 100%. I think something like all big puzzle pieces. Make different friends to solve problems for big pieces. Oh, would all big puzzle pieces not be good either? Is that the bad part of 100%? For the most part, it's the same as any percent. What about in all stages? So you just get all the switches and beat them. Only interesting thing is the additional stages. They're pretty short. So yeah, like in all stages, where you don't have to worry about getting all the puzzle pieces that are really pointless and boring. It's even closer to 80%. Yeah. Yeah, the thing with 100% though, it just feels like you're doing all of the categories back to back, which you essentially are. You're doing an extended version of any percent, and then you're doing the other categories. You're doing guest stars and all the other stuff. Triple Deluxe and Planet Robobot 100% added stickers, so every stage was different. It's interesting. Didn't feel like you were doing multiple categories back to back. Yeah, that's why I feel like 100% for this game would feel like. I haven't done it, but I probably won't do it. After story mode, rest of the run is kind of brain dead. Yeah. So this stage was almost really good, but I bonked, or I hit my head right there with Kirby. And that would have been really good. And then right there, instead of my jumping hitting the thing, mashing gets you every time. Yeah, I switch the way I hold the controller when I do my mashing. I do just index finger mashing. I like vibrate my whole arm. I think my mashing maxes out at like 14 presses a second, and then over a long period of time I can average like 12 or so. Like for 30 seconds I could average like 12 presses per second. Can't do that with Joy-Con. Yeah, I don't think I could do it with Joy-Con either. I need a good solid controller to hold on to. Yeah, I hold the left side of the controller, then rest the right side on my leg, and then just like go to town. Don't have a pro controller though. I don't think the mashing makes much of a difference in this run, to be honest. Like, even at the very end of the run, when it's just mashing buttons and spinning the control stick, I don't think that it speeds it up by that much. Maybe a few seconds, but I'm not sure. .3DS Kirby's are easy to mash since the 3DS is on the table anyway. Yeah, that makes sense. So I messed up that room, or this room, the beginning of it. I don't have to risk getting hit there by the big electric buzzsaw thing. But I did. Luckily I didn't lose wing though. Yeah, I definitely got lucky. Because what I'm supposed to do is like run forward. And then dash through it. So right here, I get kind of lucky because Midnight kills her. If she would have gotten through the end of that attack, it would have wasted another like 10 to 15 seconds, and it would have been really bad. So Midnight saved me. All these mistakes and still world record? Yeah, I made a lot of mistakes. I think that I have a better sum of best to work with though. I don't know how much of that is because of digital, but... Because I remember looking at one of your run's splits, and your sum of best was super close to the time that you got. Sum of best is 1:33:40. I think at the end of this run, I can pull it up. Oh no, it's in Discord. I can just look there. .133:22 is my sum of best, so 18 seconds. I guess that's just from digital, right? Yeah, that's probably just from digital. But I still haven't gotten a good sum of best on the final split. Digital and Grandman one cycle. Yeah. Yeah, the electric waifu slash highness fight, I still haven't gotten a good split there. I think I gold at this run, but it's still really bad. I killed the electric waifu really quickly though. But then highness, it's just terrible. No one can remember their names. I think the fire one is like Flamberge or something. I don't know. I mean, I play in Chinese now. I've seen their names like 2 times ever. I'm actually gonna look that up. I see that Google doesn't know what KSA is. Okay, so the ice water one is Francisca. The electric one is Zan Partizan. Or Zan Partizan, something like that. And then the fire one is Flamberge or Flamberge, something like that, I don't know. I remembered the fire one. And I remember hearing or seeing someone else type out Zan Partizan or Zan Partizan. Partizane. It's spelled really weird. They all look like European names. Like Middle European, not English. Yeah, Francisca seems Spanish. Flamberge or Flamberge seems like French or something. Something similar to that. And Partizan seems similar to Spanish or French. So it's something like that. I think I've gotten hit by that dude every single run I've done. Flamberge is a type of sword. But, I mean the language origin. I don't know what origin that word has. Yeah. Medieval, so European. Okay, my mashing there was wild. Like, it was crazy there. So, partisan spelled that way is Serbian. So it's similar, I guess. Still European. So it's probably like something similar to that. I don't know. Enough of the Kirby lore. What if Jambastion is from Earth? Mind blown, dude. Everyone on Jambastion are evolved Europeans. Every single one of these planets are evolved from Europeans that colonized different planets in the Kirby universe. You heard it here first. Man, looking back at this run, it's rough. I mean, it was obviously like a decent run, but it was rough. I hope that if other people watch my run, it makes them like think, hey, I can get world record in this run, and more people start running the game. That's what I'm wanting. Looking at my run, you're salty about loads. Hey, there are some places that I'm definitely faster. I don't think that loads make that big of a difference. They definitely make a difference, and without the loads, this wouldn't be world record, but my run isn't that bad. Or maybe it is just that bad, and being digital is the only reason I have a good time. Quote unquote good time. I'd like to find a consistent way to skip that puzzle piece. But like, even if you take the time to skip it yourself, I feel like Meta Knight will grab it, even if you skip it. But I'd like to find a way to have neither person skip the puzzle piece. Or have both people skip the puzzle piece. Sorry. Could you give your splits again? Want to compare against when you do runs? Yeah, I can do that. So I'd say about right here on the run is when I started getting nervous, because Planet Mistine is like really easy to just lose Wing, because if you get hit and you're underwater and Wing pops out, you're screwed. So after getting past that, I'm like, okay, I'm in like realistic PB world record territory. If I was competent, I could have ended the run right there, but you know. Or not ended the run, but ended the split. The fight. But I was facing the opposite direction of what I should have. I just shot feathers away from where I needed to. So I lost 15 seconds. No big deal. Even after that split, I felt decent. Because I knew that I could save like 26 seconds on Grot Moon from the Grand Man 1 cycle. You think your biggest weakness is Jam Bastion? Keep making mistakes while practicing? Yeah, Jam Bastion was like my bane for so long. I don't know if I'm better at it now or if I'm just getting more lucky in the places that you can like lose the run by getting hit. I know that every PB I get has some sort of luck involved, because I always get hit in places that if Wing would pop out, I would lose the run. But I don't know what the chances are of Wing actually popping out is. So I don't know if I'm getting that lucky. Imagine you lost your run every time you got hit. That's Kirby's Return to Dreamland. Oh dear. Yeah, that's too scary for me. I like being able to get hit and continue my run if I get quote-unquote lucky. I'm never, like, salty if I lose the run to that, though. Because it feels like I deserve it. Which, I mean, I do. Like, if I'm in Planet Mistine and I just get hit while I'm underwater and then Wing pops out, I don't really get upset at that. I'm just like, oh, well, I shouldn't have got hit. And when I do get hit and Wing doesn't pop out, then I'm like, heck yeah, let's go. I'm surprised that split golded. It didn't seem crazy. So this split golds because of right here. I'm able to grab the allies pretty quickly. And then I get the one cycle against Grandman. I'm not sure how much this split gold's by, but it's by a few seconds. Also, I completely forgot that I should befriend the last enemy from Caverna. Since I don't need sword, I can just use Mennonite's sword. You should avoid that puzzle piece. Yeah. I should just go in the bottom side of the thing. I think I had room for like another hit or two as well on this fight, so... "30 seconds had after Marine Moon." Yeah, I told you that my last, not my last split, but the fight against Highness and Zan Partizan, it went really badly. It's still golded, but it was awful. First to get 134. I mean, either of us could get it very easily. If I just don't suck, and then if you get any type of run going, to be honest. So right there, that was extremely scary. Because I'm right next to spikes, and if my ability would have landed on, then run would have been over. There's so many places that I can improve this run, so it's good to watch back over it and see that getting a PB won't be too crazy. Oh, fun fact, when I play, I don't have audio because my monitor that I'm using, well, I could have audio, but I'm dumb. So I used to not have audio because my capture card makes it where you can't plug headphones into the switch or else the capture card doesn't get audio, so I would just play without it. But now the monitor that I use, you can plug headphones into the monitor, but I never do that because I'm lazy. So I play without audio. So it's actually quite nice being able to listen to the music, listening or watching back on the run. Do you at least have a personal playlist or something? No. Since I normally do runs offline, I just watch other streams. So I just play and I watch other people's stream. So I can hear them, and if they're playing music, I can hear their music or whatever. When I stream, I normally have my headphones in the in my monitor. Sounds like I'd lose concentration easily. I mean, I'm used to it now. I think there are definitely places that I lose time because during cutscenes I'll look over at the stream that I'm watching and not realize that the cutscene's already over, so I'll lose like a second or something. But that rarely happens, so... And if I'm having to like intently focus on the run that I'm doing, and I'm doing attempts back to back to back, and they're not going anywhere, it gets really like frustrating. So I like having other things to focus on as well. That way it doesn't feel like my time's being wasted if a run dies. Or sometimes I'll listen to like a podcast or something. Because the one thing about speedrunning is if your run dies, a lot of the time it's very easy to feel like you just wasted all that time. There are obviously other ways to think about it where it's like you got more experience in different places, and the place that your run died, you'll focus on not losing your run there next time, stuff like that, but in a lot of instances, it's like if you get to right here in the run, and then it dies to something really stupid, it can be easy to get frustrated and feel like you just wasted an hour and 10 minutes of your life. So I like to have other things going on while I'm running. And things like podcasts, I would never just sit down and listen to a podcast by itself and not do something else. So it's actually really good to listen to podcasts while I'm doing runs. Used to have that mindset where I hated resetting. Yeah, I don't hate resetting anymore because I'm doing other things while I'm doing runs. I definitely think there are good ways and different ways for people to find ways around getting frustrated from resetting. You enjoy grinding runs even if they fail? See, that's like the optimal mindset. But some people, like myself, I can't have that mindset. So I do other things while I'm running. Other things that I wouldn't do by themselves. But I also want to do them. Some people don't know schedule time, so they think I'm gonna get a PB and then do other stuff. Yeah, you should never expect to get a PB. No matter what your time is, you should never expect a PB to happen. So I messed up here. I don't know how much time that wastes. It's probably like 5 or something seconds, and then it happens again. When their mindset should be, I'm gonna do some stuff here so I have enough time to do an attempt. Yeah, people should realize that when they're doing runs, they aren't guaranteed to get PBs. And if they do want that to be the case, then they shouldn't expect good times. Because after they get to a certain point where PBs aren't free anymore, they'll have to move on to another game. And if that's what people want to do, that's fine. I mean, there are plenty of people that are like casual speedrunners. So, like, what they do is they just do a run until it's not easy to PB anymore, and then they move on to the next game or the next category. Which, if you're not focused on competing and getting, like, great times or anything, I see how that could be fun. I can understand how people do that kind of speedrunning, but I don't see how that's fulfilling. I mean, I don't think they're trying to do something fulfilling. They're just trying to have fun. Like, they find it fun learning fast strats for a game, or just getting a semi-decent time in a game. They think it's fun or something. And so they do it in tons of games. I think I'm kind of in the middle. I'm definitely not a just grind for world record type of person. I'm definitely competitive, but it's like once runs aren't fun anymore, I'll stop. I wasted so much time here because I was thinking to myself, I can do one dash forward and I'll be fine. But that's not the case. I think I still saved time on this split just because the time in my PB was super awful. But yeah. Yeah, like I was saying, I like to compete in speedruns, but I also like to just have fun. So if it gets to a point where I feel like I'm just grinding too much, then I'll stop. For you need competition to get world record. It gets less fun when you're guaranteed to get world record with less effort. Yeah. I don't think I necessarily need competition because I'm fine competing with my own times, and I'll keep running until I feel like I'm kind of at a point that I'm okay, but I think the competition helps me discover other options. Gave up Triple Deluxe 2 years ago because no one else ran it, despite not being satisfied with any other runs. Yeah. I feel like if my time was just so far ahead of other people's and no one else was running, I might be tempted to stop as well. But I'm not sure. So right there, I need to stop getting so scared and not start floating, hovering, whatever, jumping. I need to do more of the teleports because they're faster. My ally grabs were also not very good there. Pretty sure you wouldn't be practicing if I wasn't getting good. Yeah, I understand that, because the person like behind me is what, or behind you now, what is it, like 8 or 9 minutes? The person in third is 8 or 9 minutes behind second, which is ridiculous. Cider got a 141 recently, so it's only 6 behind. I think he will definitely start to become competition pretty soon. Instead of it being 2 people, it'll be 3. But I can't be sure, because a 141 is not a hard time to get. USA, UK, and Asia. Yeah, I think the Kirby board, the Star Allies leaderboard, is pretty diverse in terms of country representation. Especially the other categories, there's like tons of different countries. Kirby World Records in general. EU, Japan, and USA have similar representation in terms of what who has Kirby World Records. Yeah. Star Allies is the first leaderboard that I've looked at and saw a Korean person. I didn't know that any Korean people did speedruns until Star Allies. So my movement through this stage was really good. And then my Zan Partisan fight. Odyssey has like 1,000 runs, and you haven't seen one Korean runner? No, I haven't. I don't even know if any of those runs are of Korean runners. So yeah, the Zan Partisan fight was good. It's just the second the second phase of Highness was really bad. First phase wasn't amazing, but I mean, there's no way to make this part like super long anyway. So yeah, here's where it gets rough. I definitely need to get more damage in before it gets to this part of the fight. And still, amazingly, this is a gold. So I could save like 20 or 30 seconds. Maybe not 30, but I'd probably save another 20 seconds on that split, which is ridiculous. Your gold for that split's 339. What did I get, like a 350 something? I don't remember what it was. So that part of the fight could have been faster, but it didn't waste more than like a second or two. Can we talk about how this is the most epic boss fight of any Kirby game? Yeah, it's a really cool boss fight. So the phase 2 of the core fight reminds me of the boss from, I guess both of them. I don't even know what to call it, the heart or the core. Those fights remind me of the Crystal Shards boss, final boss. Miracle Matter? Yeah. It's a big ball that has like a core. Depending on you get 100% or not. Oh, I probably never got 100% because I haven't played the game in a long time. But it's the like red and white ball. And it's just like a core. And it does a lot of fights similar to this phase. So, 02. I guess. I have no idea. Both bosses. I don't know what the other one looks like. I've only played one of them. I've beaten the game many times, but let's see here. Kirby Crystal Shards. Bosses. I'm talking about Miracle Matter, not 02. I like how we get to the very end of the run and then I drop frames. Sick. You get an hour and 30 something minutes in, then you drop frames. But no big deal. The run's basically over. Woo. Cool.